Structural representations. Structural representations of finite automata. First one is grammars. Grammars are useful models when designing software that process data with a recursive structure. The best known example is a parser, the component of a compiler that deals with the recursively nested features of the typical programming language, such as expressions, arithmetic, and conditional, and so on. For example, a grammatical rule like E gives to E plus E states that an expression can be found by taking any two expressions and connecting them by a plus sign. This rule is typical of how expressions of real programming languages are formed. Regular expressions also denote that structure of data, especially text strings. The patterns of strings they describe are exactly the same as what can be described by finite automata. The style of these expressions differs significantly from that of grammars, and we shall content ourselves with a simple example here. That example, this regular expression capital A to Z, small a to Z, star, square bracket, capital A to Z, capital A to Z, which represents capitalized words followed by a space and two capital letters. This expression represents patterns in text that could be a city and state. For example, Telangana space TS. It misses multi-word city names such as Ranga space Reddy space RR. So this is a multi-word city name or district name which can be captured by the more complex expression, that is capital A to Z, small a to Z, star, open parenthesis, square bracket, capital A to Z, small a to Z, star, parenthesis, star, square bracket, capital A to Z, and capital A to Z. When interpreting such expressions, we only need to know that capital A to Z represents a range of characters from capital A to capital Z, that is any capital letter, and square bracket is used to represent the blank character alone. Also, the symbol star represents any number of the preceding expression. Parentheses are used to group components of the expression. They do not represent characters of the text described. Next topic is automata and complexity. Automata are essential for the study of the limits of computation. As we mentioned in the introduction to the chapter, there are two important issues. The first one is what can a computer do at all? This study is called decidability, and the problems that can be solved by computer are called decidable. The next one, what can a computer do efficiently? This study is called intractability, and the problems that can be solved by a computer using no more time than some slowly growing function of the size of the input are called tractable. Often, we take all polynomial functions to be slowly growing, while functions that grow faster than any polynomial are deemed to grow too fast. What is automata theory? Automata theory is the study of abstract computational devices. Abstract devices are models of real computations. Computations happen everywhere, on your laptop, on your cell phone, and in nature, and so on. Why do we need abstract models? Let us take one simpler computer. You can observe here there is one circuit. The circuit is having one battery and one bulb, one switch. Let us see input, output, action, states. So these are the components. The first one, input. For input means to give input, here we are using one switch. For output, using this circuit, what is the output we will get? The output is light bulb. If you close the circuit, you will get the bulb light. This bulb will be lightened. The next one, actions. Flip switch. In the previous class, we studied about states. On state, off state. If the circuit is closed, on stage. If the circuit is open, that means off state. So here we are using two states. So this is a theoretical model of one simple computer. Let us take another example. In this example, we are taking two switches as inputs. Inputs are switches 1 and 2. Actions are flip switch 1, flip switch 2. States are on, off. So if you want to switch on this bulb, you need to on these two switches. Can you design a circuit where the light is on if and only if all the switches were flipped exactly the same number of times? Such devices are difficult to reason about because they can be designed in an infinite number of ways. By representing them as abstract computational devices or automata, we will learn how to answer such questions. These devices can model many things. They can describe the operation of any small computer, like the control component of an alarm clock or a microwave. They are also used in lexical analyzers to recognize well-formed expressions in programming languages. Suppose AB1. This is the one kind of variable declaration. Suppose if you consider here phi u, AB1 is the correct one. Legal declaration of variable in C. Phi u equal to, it is not legal declaration of variable C. Why? Because this variable is starting with numerical number. It won't be allow and special character here. Different kinds of automata. This was only one example of a computational device and there are others. We will look at different devices and look at the following questions. What can a given type of device compute and what are its limitations? Is one type of device more powerful than another? Some devices we will see finite automata, devices with a finite amount of memory used to model small computers. Push down automata, devices with infinite memory that can be accessed in a restricted way used to model parsers, etc. Turing machines, devices with infinite memory used to model any computer. Time-bounded Turing machines, infinite memory but bounded running time used to model any computer program that runs in a reasonable amount of time. Some highlights of the course. Finite automata. We will understand what kinds of things a device with finite memory can do and what it cannot do. Introduce simulation, the ability of one device to imitate another device. Introduce non-determinism, the ability of a device to make arbitrary choices. Push down automata. These devices are related to grammars, which describe the structure of programming and natural languages. Turing machines. This is a general model of a computer, capturing anything we could ever hope to compute. Surprisingly, there are many things that we cannot compute. For example, write a program that, given the code of another program in C, tells if this program over outputs the word hello. It seems that you should be able to tell just by looking at the program, but it is impossible to do. Time-bounded Turing machines. Many problems are possible to solve on a computer in principle, but take too much time in practice. Traveling salesperson. Given a list of cities, find the shortest way to visit them and come back home. Here, the person is starting with Delhi. He is moving towards MP, towards Telangana, West Bengal, Bihar, UP, Delhi. Finally, he reached at initial point. So which route is the shortest path going to choose? So that is about traveling salesperson. In principle, try the cities in every possible order. Suppose hard in practice, for 100 cities, this would take 100 plus years even on the fastest computer. Preliminaries of automata theory. How do we formalize the question? Can device A solve problem B? First, we need a formal way of describing the problems that we are interested in solving. The problems like examples of problems we will consider are given a word S. Does it contain the word subword fool? Given a number n, is it divisible by 7? Given a pair of words S and T, are they the same? Given an expression with brackets, example, does every left bracket match with a subsequent right bracket? All of these have yes or no answers. There are other types of problems that ask find this or how many of that, but we won't look at those. So we will discuss about alphabets and strings in the next class.